Yeah. That's right. That's right. I mean, after 1 week, of course, the season is decided. And of course, some Vikings fans jump ship. They're like, it's time to tank and all that stuff. Oh, Vikings going to start at 0-3, at Philly, and then Chargers, blah, 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 blah. That's all that I hear. And just because the Vikings beat their own ass week 1 against stupid Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. But by the way, the worst thing that happened was Baker Mayfield is chirping again. He's probably going to do like 17 different progressive commercials too. He's like, oh, we heard their defensive signals. Why don't you get more than 250 yards of offense, brah? I mean, come on, man. It is ridiculous. But let everyone know we back up. That's right. Like I said, I think short week benefits the Vikings. No time to cry in the breast milk. Headed into Philly. And I know everyone's thinking about last year. Everyone's thinking about 38-7. This is a new year. This is a completely different team, both for the Vikings as well as definitely for the Eagles, which we'll get to. And I think the Vikings got a puncher's chance, man. I truly believe it. Where, again, I do not give gambling advice. I do not. But Daddy put a couple jelly beans on the money line. Let's go. Let's go. So here are 10 keys for the Vikings to get it done on Thursday night against the stupid Philadelphia Eagles. Number 1. Don't stop feeding Justin Jefferson. I mean, first half against the Buccaneers last week, 7 catches for $138. You're thinking, this is going to be kind of nice. Like JJ 300 week 1. But then 2 targets for 12 yards the rest of the way. Yes, the Vikings only had 3 drives. Yes, 2 of them were 3 and outs. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity there. But you got to get the ball to 18. And also, yes, Darius Slay. Kirk's got bad memories of him, and Slay is probably going to be shadowing JJ. Do not care in the slightest, because guess what? James Bradbury, the second-team All-Pro cornerback, is going to be out with a concussion, and Josh Jobe, you got to target him everywhere he goes. You know the ball got to be there. That's right, man. It plays in number 2. Addison shines in primetime debut. Now, KJ had a rough first week, but I think he's going to bounce back. But number 3 had himself his first touchdown. I think he gets a couple more on Thursday night, because Addison, first off, Justin Jefferson is box office, right? Addison's Hollywood. Like, he loves the bright light, and that's not because of the USC connection, but he loves the bright lights. First time in prime time in the National Football League. I think he's going to put on a show. Also, Josh Jobe, the pride of Alabama, 2022 UDFA, who's replacing James Bradbury, can't hang with number 3. Don't worry about it. I think Jefferson and Addison have themselves a big-time game, because they get the ball out of Kirk's hands quick. Key number 3, where, yes, Jaylen Carter, he's a bad man. 8 pressures and a sack last week against the Patriots, but doubling, tripling him, the quick game, going up tempo, wearing these guys out, being able to run the football effectively, which would be nice. Max protect in 12 personnel, boot action, get Kirk out on the perimeter, and get away from the interior pass rush will all be key. But the whole thing about Kevin O'Connell is, like, Kevin O'Connell, Wes Phillips, like, they knew that this is going to be a short week. They know what Philadelphia can do. So if they come out with the same old tired 5 and 7-step drops and just hopefully Ed Ingram and Austin Schlutman and Ezra Cleveland are able to block someone. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen, man. But you can manufacture time and get the ball out of Kirk's hands, because primetime Kirko. That's right, man. I'm fired up for this. And here's the thing. The national media jabroni haircuts will always harp Kirk's Monday Night Football record to death. But what they won't tell you, the inconvenient truth for them, is that Kirk has been balling on Thursday Night Football for the Vikings. So 4 career Thursday night games in purple, 3-1, #QB wins. The one loss was the 38-31 shootout against the Rams at the Coliseum back in the day, where Kirk went for 422 and 3, but no big deal. But he's completing almost 72% of his passes. He's averaging 300-plus yards passing a game, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks, a 106.9 KROC quarterback rating. So, all that together is pretty. Gotta get my readers on. Don't have a pen, so I'm using the Apple. It's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. But again, they will never point that out, that Kirk shines on Thursday, baby. That's right. And I think that, can you imagine Kirk being iced out on the flight home if and when the Vikings do beat the Eagles? Woo! That's right. That's right, man. Next up, number 5. The guy stressed the secondary's communication. Now, if you go back and take a look at the tape of the Eagles and Patriots game. The Eagles defense was not the same defense as last year. Number one, switching schemes. They lost Jonathan Gannon to the Cardinals, bringing in Sean Desai, switching things up, trying to get the Fangio-adjacent defense. Hey, how'd the Fangio-adjacent defense work for the Vikings last year? But also, they lost their two starting safeties, Marcus Epps in free agency, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in free agency. Edwards, the linebacker, signed with the Bears. He's their best coverage linebacker. So they lost a lot. A lot of busted coverages against the Patriots. Kendrick Bourne greatly benefited from it. Mac Jones crawled back into the game. Also, 25-22. That's a really misleading final score because Jalen Hurts did not play well. The pick six was off a deflection. I'm not saying it, but yes, they're the reigning defending NFC champs and respect where it's due, but this is not the same damn team as last year, bro. It just isn't. And also, like we said, they're down James Bradbury, their second team All-Pro starting cornerback, as well as the replacement starting safety, Reed Blankenship, the pride of Middle Tennessee State, who led the team in tackles with 12 against the Patriots. He out as well, so there's going to be some jumbling miscommunications on the back end as they're learning that new scheme, that new defense, and I think that the Vikings can definitely get after that ass, but they got to protect Kirk defensively. Spies like us. So Pace or Asamoah or Metellus spying on Jalen Hurts, keeping eyes on number one, where he can still hurt you with his legs. Like, you can block up everything perfect and you can cover everything perfect and be good to go, but Hurts can still hurt you with his legs. He had 57 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns last year against the Vikings, so he's still super dangerous. And also, you have to keep your passing, you have to keep your rush lanes disciplined, where you can't just go out there playing hero ball. Yes, Flores is going to bring heat, but the guys got to play smart out there. You got to keep contained on number one. Next up, number 7. Make them one-dimensional. Now, that's going to be that could be easy since Gainwell, their starting running back, who led them rushing last week with 57. He's going to be out, and so make the run game marginal. Jalen Hurts could be their run game headed into Thursday night. And yeah, they got DeAndre Swift and Boston Scott and Rashad Penny, but no one really scares you there. They're going to want to throw the ball to Brown and Devontae Smith, as well as they want to get Goddard going, which he was a non-factor last week. But getting them one-dimensional, where they're going to be throw, and Flores knows that. Woo. Could bring a little bit of stank. And also, number 8, 0 all night long. So there's a very famous game from the 2021 season where the Dolphins were like 2-7, going into Thursday night, and the Ravens were rolling. It was down in Miami. It was basically in a monsoon, and what Brian Flores did is he had zero. He blitzed Lamar, so he blitzed him with zero coverage on the back end. So you're playing man-to-man across the board, and then you're bringing the house everyone else. And Lamar Jackson, like I said, is probably one of the most mobile quarterbacks in NFL history, pretty easily. Like him and Michael Vick are certainly up there, but Florida just did not give an F. They zero blitzed Lamar on almost 80% of the snaps, and they got the W. Like Tua and Jabroni Brisket brought it home. Tua, the rookie that season, and Lamar had one of the worst games of the season. Had 4 sacks, only had 39 rushing yards, and was corralled. And I think the Vikings can do the same thing to Jalen Hurts, where, AJ, Devontae, they don't like being pressed like most receivers on the outside. And also under pressure last season, Hurts' quarterback rating dropped 45.2 points, plus he had 12 fumbles. So, he will serve up a meatball if you get to him. And I think that Flores, this has a chance to be Flores' masterpiece. Flores has a chance to be a Picasso out there on Thursday night. Next up, win the turnover battle. You can't give up 3 turnovers and get none of your own. It's ridiculous. And people are surprised that the Buccaneers won. The Vikings beat themselves. Both of the fumbles. The Ed Ingram fumble was just unfortunate. The Winfield Jr. strip sack was a miscommunication, and the Kirk Cousins pick was just bad all the way around. So you can't do that, especially on the road, especially in Philly. And lastly, one big special teams play. I think Coach Hatt and the third phase, I think that they got something cooking up, whether it's a big-time punt return tackle by Jalen Naylor or Najee Thompson, or a block punt by Josh Metellus or Jay Ward. redeems himself. Jay Ward had 3 block punts in college, or a big-time return, either punt or kick, by Powell. I think one big play on the in the third phase could spring the Vikings and propel them towards victory. Final score prediction. Future's so bright. Got to wear shades. Again, I was like y'all. Like, after Sunday's game, I was a little bit deflated, a little bit just like, why? Why do I pick this team? But every single day that passed, just breaking down this team, looking at the Eagles in depth, the Vikings can win this game. The Vikings can absolutely win this freaking game, man. So I think they go in, their backs are against the wall. They understand that if they drop to 0-2, it's a horrible start to the season, but there's too much talent on offense, too much talent on defense, and Philly ain't the same Eagles team as last year. I think the Vikings go in to put the bang thing on Philly. Give me 38 Okay, maybe not. Give me Vikings 23, Eagles 20. Get it done. Statement win on the road, shock the world, and then you have an extended break to get yourself healthy and get yourself ready for Justin Herbert and the Chargers coming to U.S. Bank Stadium week 3. Woo! That's right. That's right, baby. Again, feeling good. That's right, man. Your thoughts are thoughts. 10 keys for the Vikings to get a win against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Woo! Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.